Hello everyone, welcome into the Coach KJ Carousel Dynasty. This is LDJ11 and I'm here to bring you the National Championship game. So as we're going through the beginning here, we're showing off the stats from the previous game as USC beat Florida State 49-23. That was a pretty big blowout. So in the next one, it's Alabama-Washington. And as you can see, Alabama won this game. It really wasn't that close. It was 38-10. Washington got blown out, even though they were undefeated all season. So that's going to set up a National Championship game featuring USC and Alabama. I think that's pretty much what we would have predicted anyway. I mean, USC was dominant. They blew us out at Penn State, and Alabama's Alabama, man. We always expect them. So this game's going to be played at AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas, home of the Dallas Cowboys. That's actually the same place we played our bowl game in the previous episode in the Cotton Bowl. Hopefully the lighting's a little bit better. I found it to be quite weird in our game, and I tried really hard to fix that, but it was just not right, and I couldn't get it right. So we'll see if that improves on this one. As you can see, Alabama getting ready to take the field, and now you can see USC on the field going through their pregame hype up video stuff. We'll see if they're able to come through and ultimately win this one. Some reason or another, Will Anderson didn't go pro, so he's still on the team here. I don't really understand why. That's going to help Alabama out a little bit. In real life, there's no way he's back, and I could have swore I made him a senior, but I guess I missed him somehow. As USC is actually going to kick to Alabama to open this one up. We'll have to see who's able to come out on top. This right here is not going to be my normal commentary style. It's going to be a little bit more free-flowing as we don't watch the whole game. I'm just trying to give you the gist of what's going on, and I really want this to just showcase these two teams. I'm not going to pretend I know every player on the team and do a play-by-play, and sometimes I think I might even cut down on that a little bit in the future and make it a little bit more storyline based. Let the gameplay happen in the background while I talk through some storylines and stuff. I don't know, we'll see. I'm still debating. I'm looking at just trying to make it a little bit different and a little bit more fun here as we try to keep this Dynasty file going, and I want to keep it fresh, and I really want to come and take on its own life in a way. And hopefully my goal is to include some of this one into our Madden 24 franchise where some of these players will transfer over. I don't know if I'm going to do like what I did with our Bucks franchise where the Kent Williams Carousel Dynasty has an entire year one draft class based around it. Every player except for the ones that came from schools that were not in the mod is from here. So if they say anybody from Penn State, they all are from the Kent Williams Carousel Dynasty file. And I have the off season for that getting ready to come up as I've made some changes with that one as well. I'm trying to speed it up and make it go quicker and see if that'll help the views increase a little bit. Honestly, that one hasn't been doing so well. I do know it's a dead period for Madden though, so I'm not going to stress on that one. I just wanted to get it on the channel and start kind of getting my footing in there and learning how to do it a little bit. As you can see, flopping back to our gameplay real quick, Alabama's taking a 3-0 lead in this game early in the first quarter, and you know what? USC is feeling the pressure from Alabama so far. They have been blitzing them and hitting Caleb Williams all game. However, that one resulted in an offside penalty on Will Anderson, so we'll see how this drive ends up going out. I'm going to jump back in from time to time on the gameplay. Like I said, the whole point of this is to let you see it play out and me talk a little bit and give you some more insight into my thought process within this dynasty. Now, within this episode here, I am going to list the top teams for certain players that I've announced are going to be entering the transfer portal, like Bo Pribula, Harrison Wallace III, Malik Mega, but I'm not going to do that yet. I want to save it for a little bit later in the video. The next thing I want to talk about is the fact that I think I'm going to include some of these players from this Penn State team in my next draft class to be a part of my Bucks franchise. This is going to be a little bit less realistic because maybe I put Caleb Williams in there, maybe I don't know, but I do want my players from Penn State that are good enough to continue on the channel, and I think that it won't feel too weird to do that and just throw them in my Bucks franchise. I've got a month and a half left of playing it so we can see how their careers play out as professionals because they will not be appearing in Madden 24. My plan right now for Madden 24 is to use the draft classes from this file once a lot of the real life players have left. Now, depending upon how far I get before Madden comes out and before I'm ready to start creating a draft class, I may not have a choice but to use some real life players. However, I want to flush as many of them out as I can, so I'm not gonna stress it and I'm not gonna save anybody from these draft classes and include them for no good reason. So guys like Tyler Warren, Kobe King up the middle, some of our receivers in the future, if any of them go pro, I'd like to see them guys join my Bucks franchise. So like a Saunders or any of these guys, Caden Lambert, Smith, I'd like to see these guys join the Bucks franchise if at all possible. So as I go through that franchise file and I continue this one, if I can, I'm going to include them. If not, oh well, their time on the channel is going to come to an end a little bit early. But I know for sure anybody that goes pro this year will be in a draft class for that. So there is a guarantee that we're at least going to see their career play out. Now, we may not get to see them play live much, however, we will be simming through the end of their career when I end that franchise file. So at the very least, we'll see how the rest of their career plays out. Hey, this is me jumping in after the fact. I just wanted to let you guys know that I could hear the dogs in the background. I didn't realize that she was scraping at the door and you could hear it until I was just editing it down. Sorry about that. Back to what I was talking about. But with me including some of them players in the draft class, that doesn't mean I'm going to include players from outside of my team in the future. Just to kind of make it a little bit harder on myself when it comes to scouting these players, and also easier on myself because then I'm not creating 450 players. You know, as much as I enjoy doing that, I just don't think that a franchise that's this late in the season's going to really benefit from that. I think it'll ultimately end up not being a huge benefit for us. You know, I kind of decided that if I include my players at least, and maybe somebody else that made a difference, I'd be happy with that. Now that the first quarter's come to an end, you can see Alabama's winning this national title 6-0, and then they drove down and made it 16-0 as we're approaching halftime. It looks like Jalen Milroe's doing a good job for Alabama and really keeping them in this game. However, something happened just before halftime and they didn't get points, so it's a 16-7 game as we enter the third quarter. USC's moved the ball, however, they haven't been able to get in the end zone, so as we get ready to start watching again, it is 16-10 here in the fourth quarter. Alabama has the ball, and they are looking to put this game away and get another touchdown. They hand it off to their back, and he cannot get to the line to gain, bringing up a 3rd and 1, and it looks like they're going to run a draw here right back to Roydell Williams. He loses 2, so Alabama's forced to punt this back to USC, and they now have a chance to answer and possibly take the lead and try to win this national title. I'll be honest, for my self-confidence, I really hope USC wins this title, just because of how much they beat us down by. As you look at their stats, it's been a pretty close game. Like I said, USC just can't seem to get any points on the board, so they got to figure that out here in the second half. And then Caleb Williams throws a pick. What a bad decision right there. That could cost USC big time, as Alabama gets the ball back in great field position, so they might be able to get up by 2 scores, and that includes even if they kick a field goal in this situation. You also have to worry about them being able to drain the clock down and limit USC's possession as well. So we'll have to see what happens here as Milroe tucks it, and he's going to run and pick up another first down. He should have slid there. He's lucky he held on to that, but that was an 11-yard pickup. It's easy to say Alabama's in field goal position now, especially after they complete that down to the 19-yard line to Jermaine Burton. Now it's ultimately up to USC's defense. If they can hold him out of the end zone, that's best case scenario. If they let him into the end zone, I don't know, this game might be toast for USC. They might have lost it, as like I said, Alabama's moving the ball, but Roydell Williams gets hit in the backfield there, and he ends up losing 4. So that brings up a 2nd and 14 and forces Alabama out of their game plan. However, Milroe will tuck it and run, and he only gets the 4 back because he got tripped up a little bit. This is a huge moment for the Big Ten and USC, as Milroe completes it underneath. However, Burton cannot get past the line to gain, so Alabama was held to a short field goal attempt, making it a 19-10 game and keeping USC's hope alive with 6 minutes left in this one. And now it's up to them to ultimately get into the end zone, get the touchdown, and then they need to get a stop or an onside kick. Riley Brown took that for a big first down for USC. However, I think their running idea is pretty bad right now. Caleb Williams did just gash him, though. He's out to the 50, down to the 45, almost down to the 40 at the 41-yard line. That was a big 24-yard rush from Caleb Williams. So now he's going to throw it across the middle of the field, and he gets a completion down to about the 30-yard line or so. Lincoln Riley's pushing all the right buttons right now as Riley Brown gets drilled for no gain. So on a big 3rd and 1, they surprisingly throw it after having some rushing success earlier in this drive. However, Brendan Rice catches it, so they convert, and then on 1st and 10, they throw a screen out there. I don't know who number 22 is. I'm going to be honest with you. Darwin Barlow's his name. He took that for 5, and then Caleb Williams gets stuffed on the speed option, and he ends up losing 3 on that play. So this is a big 3rd and 8 for USC as Alabama's sending a blitz, and Williams finds an open man who gets into the end zone for 6. That's freshman receiver Garrett Floyd getting USC on the board with a huge 6-point play right there. They're going to line up and kick the extra point and make it 17-19. If I'm being fully honest with you, I might go for 2 there, so that way if Alabama scores a touchdown, I'm still within striking distance of them. But that's not my decision. Coach Lincoln Riley went with what he thought was best, as Alabama's going to take over with 3 minutes and 38 seconds left in this one. Let's see if they can drain the clock or if USC's defense can step up one more time. Well, they're going to start off running the ball as Roydell Williams pulled it on the Wildcat formation. He ends up picking up 4 on that, and then Jalen Milroe gets stuffed for a 4-yard loss. So this is a big 3rd and 9 for Alabama as they throw a screen to Roydell Williams, and he is going to convert it. That's a big first down right there. That pretty much secures the national championship for Alabama and Coach Nick Saban. They do have to drain the last 2 timeouts of USC as Milroe tucks it and runs. He's going to pick up another first down here. That's going to be your game, even though they knock him out of bounds. I don't know what the heck he was doing. He should have went to the ground and forced them timeouts. As long as they don't fumble the ball, though, they'll be okay, as this right here is one of the timeouts USC has left. There's still no way they can get the ball back, especially not with Alabama's field position, as Roydell Williams gets stopped on that. However, USC is now out of timeouts, so as long as Milroe can convert this first down, and he does, this one's over. Alabama's going to be your national title winner. Now to talk about some players. Beau Pribula's top 5 is going to be Arkansas, Illinois, Nebraska, Florida, and Vanderbilt. Then the next one I want to talk about is Harrison Walsh III. His top 5 is going to also include Arkansas, Illinois, Nebraska, Florida. However, the other one on his list is going to be FAU. The next one I'm going to talk about is wide receiver Malik Mega. He didn't have a big impact for us this season, but he played some. His top 5 is going to be Florida, Vanderbilt, Nebraska, Arkansas, and FAU as well. The last player I'm going to talk about is halfback Kayvon Lee. He's also in the transfer portal, and his top 5 is going to be Arkansas, Vanderbilt, FAU, Southern Miss, and Illinois. So take away from that as you will. Whatever team you think it might be, let me know in the comments below if you think you figured out who I'm going to become the head coach of based on the top 5s here. As we get to see Nick Saban and Alabama celebrate a national championship, I sure hope he doesn't get to do it again. They look pretty dominant. I thought USC was a better team. I was hoping they would win the title, so our loss to them didn't look so bad. However, per usual, Alabama's dominant, and they earned this national title. It was a tough fought championship game, and it was pretty close. There just wasn't a whole lot of exciting moments. USC did make it kind of interesting at the end, though. This is LDJ11. I want to thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the off season. I'm out.
And sometimes you just gotta believe there's something that'll give you relief. There's something that'll have what you need, what you need. We're broken, it's tragic, we're not all elastic, but maybe there's magic. Believe